Hi everybody, welcome to my show. You guys might notice I don't have any paint stuff with me tonight. There's a couple reasons for that. I felt like I didn't really want to paint tonight. I just got done making this big dinner for the family, and I need to get some new paints before I continue because they're starting to get yucky. So I figured tonight we could just hang out and chat and see how it goes. I'm sure you guys enjoy the painting part, and I do too, but it's just a break for 1 week. I will be back next week doing the same thing. I'm thinking I might add in some other kind of crafting things and stuff like that. So there's a lot to talk about. The boys talked a lot about kind of the same subject I'm going to be talking about because, let's face it, it's what we're all talking about right now. But I have a lot of different perspectives. I mean, sure, probably similar opinions, but I'm coming from a different place as a mom, as a disabled mom, as someone who doesn't work, but I run a nonprofit. So there's lots of different ways that this affects me personally, affects my family. The first thing I wanted to say, because I'm kind of obsessed with the guy, if any of you have heard of Tom McDonald, he's incredible. I'm not a rap fan, but now all of a sudden I am. He is a Canadian who moved to America 7 years ago and has been living the American dream. And he does his own music. He doesn't have a label. He puts it out himself. His girlfriend does his videos. And he has a new album coming out tomorrow with a gentleman by the name of Adam Calhoun, which is also a conservative fella. He's not quite a rapper. He's a little bit different vibe. And I guess they had like beef before. Oh, there was Jesse. I guess they had beef for a while, and then they did kind of what Tony and Joel preach about: get to know the person before you have beef with them. And they became like best of friends, and now they have these videos out there saying "love you, sweetie," like it's really cute. So I just want to tell you guys to check it out. His album, from what I understand, is only going to be sold through him, like his hog, which is hangovergang.com. And it's only going to be sold until they're sold out, and then they will never sell this album again. So if you're really into him, go check that out tomorrow. That's when he starts selling it. And no, he is not a sponsor. I just really like him. Our daughter does too. So anyways, what's been happening this week has been, well, I guess it's the past couple weeks, has been eye-opening for me. I think we all kind of have a notion about Canada as this peaceful, quiet, reserved nation that, you know, would let you walk all over them type of thing. And even they are to this point. That's saying something. To me, that's saying something major. To see people stand up for what they believe in a peaceful, productive, healthy way is really inspiring, and I think we should have had that happening here a long time ago. I'm really, I think that what we're all watching, it's funny because I took my daughter to school this morning, and usually because of the way I am, I don't sleep well at night. So usually I will take Riley to school at 7:30. I'll come home and I'll crawl in my chair with my heating pad and sleep for a few hours. But I came home and I put on Facebook, and they were live in Parliament doing the back and forth, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it, you guys. It's incredible. Like, first of all, I saw in the comments that 3 times this week, Mr. Justin Trudeau has left Parliament during these arguments because he just doesn't want to deal with it, because he can't take the heat. And I've been watching them go back and forth. Like, they have, like, the leader of the opposition, which in our terms would be, like, the House Republican leader or the House Senate Republican leader, something like that. It's quite different, but they literally will get up and they'll stand up in Parliament. They'll have a speaker that's kind of calling on them, and they'll stand up in Parliament and they'll talk, okay, so why is it that, like, this lady was incredible, Candace something, she's incredible. Why is it that in all of our history, this Emergencies Act has never been invoked, even in 9/11, even in really big riots and occupations and all this stuff, and she rattles off all this stuff. But now, when all the blockades have been removed except for one, you invoke this Emergencies Act, and you want to be able to take away access to the citizens' funds at whim. And he continues to say, this isn't a first step option. This isn't a second step option. This is we know that. We know this is major. Who's we? Because from what I understand, he has a 15% approval rating. That's less than Biden, you guys. This guy is a joke. And there's a running joke on Ben Shapiro that he's Castro's son. So, like, this guy is ultimate dictator. And I'm just watching this in awe, thinking, I'm fantasizing about what it would be like if we had a system. Not necessarily, I love our system because we have freedoms that Canadians will never have. But if we had a way that we could get up there and do this debate where the people that are against Biden can say, well, what about this, what about this, what about this? And he has to get up that second and answer to it without a teleprompter or his babysitter wiping his butt and telling him what to say. That would be incredible. I mean, could you imagine the comedy that would ensue if he had to do that? I mean, can we make that happen somehow? I can't get over this. And I was telling Joel, I cannot get over how cool that is that he has to answer to them right away. Like, he can't, and he's not answering correctly, and it's pissing people off, and you can hear people screaming and booing, but like in the Canadian way, right? So like, a boo, no, like they're not like radically screaming, but they're loud about it, and it's crazy. Don't forget, before I continue, don't forget to jump on Patreon. You can buy merchandise to support my paint habit. Hi Tony, hi Jack, Alan, or Julie. And a healthy, somebody said that's a huge point. A healthy, productive way is how you get change. Exactly. And I know our great friend Jeremy Freedom was on the Boys' show last night, which was a super good show. If you did not watch it, please watch it, because it was a really good one. I think that was one of my favorite shows. I have probably like 5 all-time favorites, and he's in that that list. And it was just a really fun show. There was a lot of laughter. There was a lot of the eagle. There was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of common sense. And what Jeremy said was really cool was, and it kind of made sense, is that the conservatives need to find a way to come together and work together and organize. And I think this U.S. convoy, the Freedom Convoy that they're trying to do, is going to be that. I'm hearing some really cool things about it. I'm hearing that it's going to be huge. There's going to be people we know and love that are going to be traveling along with it, and singing and doing other things. And I'm really excited about that for them. And I think that it's going to be something we desperately need. And I know you guys are probably tired of hearing this because I'm a broken record about it, but I'm always saying, and they talked about patriotism last night, and I'm always saying, to be a patriot is not just to say you're a patriot and wave a flag. Flag waves are great, especially if they have a meaning behind them. Like, this Freedom Convoy is like a big, huge flag wave with meaning, with purpose, with something behind it that they're actually doing. So, and Jeremy made a good point of that too, about how his flag waves have a purpose behind them to bring people together to actually go and fight things. Like, they're right now in Malala at their school district meeting, working on some stuff, and I think that's wonderful. So if you're gonna call yourself a patriot and you want to be loud about it, the best way to do that is actually do something. Don't just talk. Actually do something. For one, we know some people running a recall in our small little town, and there has been some talk that has scared people. It's not dangerous to sign a recall if you don't agree with someone. If you do agree with them, don't sign it. But if you don't agree with a leader that is representing you, you have every right to sign that recall. And guess what? It is sealed in the same way that your votes are. It is not out there for people to see. And if they do come across it, that's not good. That's a really bad thing. So you should not be the one that's worried. Put it that way. So if you want something to change, you've got to be willing to step up and do it. We've got some leaders in our small towns, in our state, in our country, that are standing up for those voices that are so loud right now. They're standing up for those people that say, you know what, I'm tired of sitting back and listening to this crap. I want to do something. But then when these people, these leaders, these representatives stand up and do something, a lot of times they're not backed up by their people that have asked them to do it. And so that really takes the steam out of them. So think about that, please. I mean, a lot of us are upset in one way or another. Fight for what you believe in and actually go and do something about it. Whatever it is you believe in, do something about it. That's one of the beautiful things about America. We have the right to do that. We have the right to show up to our school board meetings, talk to the teachers, find out what they're talking to your kids about. Find out what's going on in Canada, because guess what? It's going to make a difference in this entire world right now. Everybody is watching them, and they're watching how this goes down. And I'll tell you right now, what happens there is going to dictate a lot of things. Now look at this picture. tell me, do you see a fire? Do you see people beating each other up or tearing down buildings or statues or beating up on cars or lighting cars on fire or harming cops in any way, shape, or form? I see a big blown up beaver and a bunch of trucks with flags proud of their country, and they're working together trying to show what they believe in without causing any danger to anybody. And I know people are like, well, the blockades are causing people not to get to where they need to go. All the blockades are down except for Ottawa. So, I mean, tell me again, how are they causing damage? And these guys are very organized. They're very organized. And I don't know if you know this, but citizens are coming to help them. They're coming to bring them things. They're doing things. They're doing whatever it takes. And they're happy to walk. They're happy to move. They're happy to do whatever it takes to get this out there because they're done. You guys, 15% approval rating means 85% of people are on board with this in that country. That's huge. Look at that guy. He's a joke. By the way, he's very young, isn't he? Like, I don't think we've ever had a leader that young before, but I could be wrong. I don't know ages of everybody, so I could be wrong. But yeah, I just think that, we need to start putting our money where our mouth is. Someone said Trudeau said truckers were hurting their economy. His actions caused a bank run. 5 banks are closed. Let those truckers roll. Yeah, so if you don't know what they're talking about with his actions causing a bank run, this emergency enactment crap that they're fighting in Parliament right now, that he has enacted, basically says that he has the power to say, okay, you spent money on giving money to the truckers, or I think you might have given money to the truckers. I'm going to close your bank account. You can't access your money. Like, are you kidding me? How freaking ridiculous is that? Gosh. Anyway, so while we're on the subject of peacefully protesting, and I'll tell you, let's look at the contrast here real quick. So peaceful protest looks like this, okay? And this. And then you have the peaceful protests in Portland and all over our country and Canada that look like this. And yet people like Trudeau went down to these fireballs and knelt with these people and supported them. But yet he's calling the actual peaceful protests radicals and racists and all these horrible things. I mean, are we freaking kidding? Come on. So one thing you'll notice in a regular peaceful protest are more professionally made signs. And these professionally made signs, we have a really cool place here in Estacada that is our favorite place in the world because we adore them. And they're all over this area, not just our town. And they work really hard, and they're very fast and professional and lovely. And let's see their ad. I love that commercial. It's my favorite. Oh, okay. If you live in our town and you haven't met our lovely mayor and his wife, please do so. But they're awesome. And I know there's all kinds of, a small town is funny. People do a lot of talking without actually knowing. There's a lot of rumors and a lot of negativity and positivity and anything in between. And if you haven't met our lovely mayor and his wife, please do so before you make an opinion, because they are incredible people, and couldn't say enough good things, honestly. But moving on, one thing I wanted to touch on, before I do that, if you own a business or know someone who owns a business, we are taking sponsors right now. So that little ad you saw is a sponsor ad, and that's what helps us keep going and doing these shows each week and growing and building on our shows and bringing new fun things and giving away gifts and all that stuff. So if you own a business and you would love to advertise on our shows, whether it be mine or Joel's and Tony's, or on the BS Project, whichever, wherever, you could do all of them, one of them. We have all kinds of packages available, so just let us know. But anyways, when it comes to all of this stuff going on, a lot of the things, and I've been riding around with those doing the recall because I support it 100%. I'm not going to be shy about it. And a lot of things we're hearing is that people don't want to get involved in politics. People don't want to stir the boat. People don't want to, they just want to hide and ignore it. And I used to be that person because I grew up with a father who was very political and very radical. And I hated that. It was embarrassing. I never knew what to say to him because he got volatile about it. He got angry if you disagreed with him. It was just one of those things that it really put a nasty taste in my mouth about politics. So there was a really long time that I didn't talk about politics. I was never involved. I was not very civic minded because I didn't understand how important it was. And now I think we all can see. I don't think we can be quiet anymore, regardless of what your beliefs are. I don't care if they're this side, here, there, anywhere. I don't think we have the luxury of being quiet anymore. Actually, I know we don't have the luxury of being quiet anymore because the silent majority has been silent for too long. And now I'm seeing that people are more willing to talk about it and voice their opinions, and that's great. And it's unfortunate too because we're losing friends, we're losing family. I've lost in this last year. We've lost some extended family that we're very, very close to because our beliefs are not aligned, and that's really sad. And to me, I would never ever disregard a family member or a friend just because they believe differently from me. That's not the times we're in right now, unfortunately, and some people will do that. But despite that, I cannot be silent anymore. I can't sit back and let somebody else take care of it for me anymore. I can't sit back and say, well, it's too much stress, it's too much drama. I really don't want to rock the boat. I just want to make everybody happy, because making everybody happy is what got us to this point, you guys. It's what got us to the point that pedophilia is on the rise. Human trafficking, child trafficking is the biggest problem in our world. The biggest problem in our world right now. And nobody talks about it because we're too busy talking about politics. Okay? But we need to be talking about politics because it all goes hand in hand. We need to be talking about these issues that affect us. Parents, moms specifically. I know, moms, we just want to take care of our families, work if we work, stay home if we stay home, be proud of who we are, and proud of our little kids or our fur animals, whichever you choose or whatever, or, your plants. We just want to be in our own little space and we feel protected there. But I'm telling you, moms, we have to start standing up. We got to fight for our kids, because right now, and I know this from experience, right now our kids in this state, especially in any blue state, honestly, I'm sorry, but it's true, are being taught things that are disgusting and vile and crazy and totally not appropriate, and we need to be involved. The only way to stop it is to get involved and to stop it yourself. No one's going to do it for you. And, okay, sorry, comments. That's the boo-boo side of small town gossip. Yes, it is. It is, but there's so many beautiful things about being in a small town, too, because I don't meet anyone I don't know and care about at any given time in this town. We have a lot of support here. We have a lot of amazing people here, and we have a spirit here that is incredible. What do their mugs sell for with a decal on it? Whitney signs. Well, you could, if I had the phone number in front of me, I'd give you the phone number to call. because I don't know offhand, but I'll see if Joel can send me a message to let me know how to answer that. Someone said, I won't sit down, I won't shut up. Silence is not golden. That's right. Don't do it anymore. It's sad that people let beliefs get between relationships and friendships. Yeah, it really is. And that's one of the things I want to talk to a lot about tonight because it's been happening to me personally. The phone number for Whitney Signs is 503-312-2591. I wouldn't call this late, but I would call tomorrow during the day. Yeah. So, relationships, here's the thing. The media has done an amazing, amazing job, and I don't mean amazing in a good way, an amazing job of creating this volatile tension, negativity, anger, fear, hate in us that if we have, it's been so ingrained in us for years. I think it's been going on since 9/11, honestly, but it got worse during Obama's era, that if somebody disagrees with you, that they're the enemy. If somebody has a different life experience, that they're the enemy. If somebody doesn't want to make the same choice as you, that they're the enemy. And we're making enemies out of people we love and our neighbors and good people. And that's disgusting, okay? You can fight for what you believe in and still love people at the same time. You might not be able to love them in the same way, but I mean, let's get real. You know what? I have a question for you guys based on that. And this is coming from a very personal place, and I'm probably going to offend some people that, well, I've already lost them, so I guess it doesn't matter. If you were a firm believer in the vaccine, which I have plenty of friends that are, and that's great. If you're a firm believer in the vaccine, and you believe everything they say, that, you know, people are immoral if they don't get it, if you had a family member that you're very close to say, I'm sorry, I feel it in my gut, in my soul, and in my heart that this is not for me, I can't do it, and it's not because I don't want to, it's because I know that God's telling me not to do this, or they're like me, and they can't physically do it. I honestly can't. I would die. Medically, I cannot have the vaccine. If you had people in your life like that, would you abandon them? Would you say, okay, you know what? I love you, but I can never see you again? I want to know how many people would do that. Because to me, that seems really ridiculous. Seems really sick, actually. And it really upsets me. And I'm getting really tired of hearing these stories because I've heard a lot of them lately. A lot. And not just on TV. I'm hearing them from family members. I'm hearing them from friends. And either they're going through it or they're doing it to me. And I am just sick to death of this world that has been created by this mass hysteria, this fear, this shitty behavior. And I'm just fed up. I mean, it's okay to make a different choice and still be there for somebody. And also, the science has been proven, and even those sites that everybody has been begging for everyone else to look at, the CDC, the Health Authority, they all say the same thing. These vaccines do not protect other people. They only help you, the person who got the shot, by tampering down the side effects. The science is also coming out that majority of the things I've seen, and I don't have a clue if it's all, but the majority of things I've seen coming out of these hospitals is that 2/3 of the people in the hospital have the vaccines. And they're fully vaccinated, just not partially. So I'm not ever going to tell someone that it's a bad idea to get that. If they feel that they need to do it, go for it, man. I mean, more power to you. That's your body. That's your choice to do that. And if you feel it on your heart and soul and that's the right thing to do, I will support you 100%. But I would really hope and pray that most people have the same decency in their heart to say that they would support the other person's choice as well. And maybe that's just me being naive, but I really am shocked to see that that's not necessarily the case. Someone said, what are your thoughts about how so many people said for years that the cloth masks won't work and so many were mask shamed? Now the CDC is saying that those masks don't work. They are nothing more than a fashion accessory, and only the N95 masks help. Yeah, I mean, that's a weighted question because I'm coming from a different perspective here. I'm coming from a perspective of an immunocompromised individual, so I have a lot of friends who have been wearing masks for years. But I can tell you that the masks they've been wearing were never cloth ones. They were always the surgical ones or N95 ones, and it was usually only if they were sick themselves or they were going into a situation like an emergency room or a school because they'd want to protect themselves from catching a bug if they could. And it was just an extra measure they took. And I never did that because I hate masks. It makes me so uncomfortable. I hyperventilate. I get really anxious. But I come from a unique perspective. So when the cloth masks came out and people were wearing cloth masks and everybody's like, these don't actually work, right? The science shows that they don't, and for the long time they tried to say they did, and now they're saying of course they don't. It's just N95 masks that work. Surgical masks also don't. So it's like, it's interesting how the science keeps changing, right? The science changes as the narrative is to change. To me, the science has never changed. They just kept it from us for a while, or buried it, or fluffed it up. And it's really sad. And I don't agree with mask shaming in either option. I don't think that people that choose to wear the mask should be shamed. Because there are people like me out there that will wear them the rest of their lives when they're in certain situations for other reasons, not COVID. And then I don't think you should be shamed if you don't want to wear a mask. I think that's stupid. I think if 10 years ago, if we knew that we'd be fighting over who's wearing a mask and who's not wearing a mask, we'd be wondering why we're all of a sudden in China. Okay? So I think we'd be laughing at ourselves right now. If you took a time machine back to 2012, I think all of us would be shocked at our behavior. So whenever you start to get those thoughts, maybe take a chill pill for a minute and think, is it worth it to make someone feel like an asshole because they made a different choice than me? Honestly, the only thing I care about is being forced to do it because we live in a country where that's not supposed to happen. I hear that every day too, family turning their backs on family. Yeah, it's getting ridiculous, you guys. I've lost some really important people to me that I've had in my life, my whole life, because they've made the choice that because I can't be vaccinated, they will never see me again, never be in my presence. Sure, phone calls, but I mean, that's harsh, man. No, I would never. It is their choice, and people need to chill. I have the vaccine. Well, I had it to get it for work, but my son doesn't. It's his choice, and I'll support him on it and even fight for him if schools try to make it mandatory. Good for you, mama or daddy. That's awesome. See, that's what I'm talking about. You made the choice. You thought it was the right choice, or you had to for work, which I think is wrong. You shouldn't have to do that for work, but that's just my opinion. And your son doesn't want to, and that's good for you that you would fight for his right, even if you don't necessarily agree. And if you do agree, that's great. I think that's wonderful. That's the way it should be. Even God gives us freedom of choice. Absolutely. Even God, our creator, God created us. He loves us so much that he gave his only son for us to die on the cross for our sins. And he still gives us that choice. He doesn't force it on us. He doesn't make us choose. He gives us the freedom to choose if we want to follow him or not. If he can do that, we could give our neighbors their own choice, right? I got real sick with COVID and fully vaccinated, 3 weeks down. Not saying it doesn't work, but it doesn't make you invincible. And that's exactly it, because I don't know if you guys know, but these vaccines are not technically vaccines. They're mRNA inhibitors, which they change your mRNA. And they basically, it's supposed to change how your body reacts to it, but a true vaccine has the actual illness or virus or whatever it is in the shot, so that your body can build antibodies, but that's not what these do. That's why they don't protect against it. They're not an actual vaccine. they only lessen the side effects. And that's proven. Even the CDC says this. The World Health Organization says this. It only can lessen the side effects, but there's no way to prove that, is there? How do you prove that it's lessening the side effects, especially when there's lots of people with vaccines that have died recently because of the side effects of the vaccines, or possibly because of COVID too? So how can they prove that it lessens the side effects? I think it's more of a hypothesis than anything else, especially with the lack of time in order to do a true study. We are the study, you guys, if you haven't realized that. The CDC has changed so much from the beginning, and they are finally landing on what we've been saying all along, and it's finally aligning with the real science. You guys know why that is, right? They're not necessarily going to keep it that narrative, because right now it's an election year, so the tides are changing in our direction. They're giving a dog a bone, basically. They're giving us what we want in that aspect, because they're hoping that we're dumb enough to allow the status quo to continue and the same people to be in power. And then as soon as that happens, we're going to crash right back down into mandates. I'm telling you right now. So like I said last week, don't let them fool you. Don't listen, and continue to fight. Even though the science is now finally showing, because the science has shown it all along if you looked in the right places, especially the that vaccine site that talks about vaccine injury and all that stuff. The science has been there all along. It's just been hidden. Now they're releasing it, allowing us to see it, making it more clear and more evident, but it's not going to change how they act. It's only changing for a short time, and then it's going to come right back around and smack us right back in the face if we don't keep fighting for what's right. A frog is boiled in a slow pot, but will jump out of the pot of boiling water when tossed in quickly. Yeah, that's a good analogy, okay? So what that means is this has been happening slowly over time. Little pebbles of information, little indoctrination here, little mentions here, little things here, like, oh, let them be who they want to be, let them think how they want to think. Facts are subjective. Truth is not necessarily truth. It's your truth or my truth, and we all have our own truth, and all this shit is how we got here, okay? And it was a slow rise, and there were some of us that were saying, hello, look what's happening, this is what's going to happen, and we've been saying it for years and saying it all along, and now we're here. Yeah, if we had been thrown in at the mass hysteria point, yeah, sure, we would have fought back a lot quicker. But now we know we need to fight back. We need to stop being the stupid frog sitting in the hot water waiting to die, okay? Awesome. Freedom rarely disappears overnight. It's taken one small step at a time, and it is said that a generation of people who lose their freedom will never see it again. Exactly. So, I mean, my generation, I think we're screwed, right? I mean, have we lost it? Do you guys think we've lost it, or are we in the process of losing it? Because either way, I think we better fight like hell. If we've lost it, we better fight for our kids. And if we're in the process of losing it, we better fight so we don't lose it altogether. Agree. We have the freedom of choice and the freedom of exit. It is lunacy for someone to lose a deep, close relationship over that, just my opinion. Thank you. I agree 100%. I think it's ridiculous. Excuse me, I gotta have a drink. By the way, this little cup is so cool. My husband got this for me for Christmas, and it's the cutest thing ever. There's a lot of writing on it, but it's a I love you type of cup. Yeah, I think the mask should be their own choice. And it's hard to believe if it is a cloth mask, an N95 mask, a freaking plastic one, that helps. I think they all help a little, but to each their own, man. Yeah, I mean, that's, at the end of the day, that's the main thing. To each their own. And does it hurt you if someone else is wearing a mask as long as they're not forcing you to wear one? Sure as hell doesn't bother me one bit. I don't give a crap. As long as you're not forcing my asthmatic kid to wear one in school anymore, I'm fine. Speaking of my child, she has been dying to get back on the show, so I think next week I'll let her come on for a little bit. Maybe we'll talk about something really fun. So if you guys have any ideas of what we should talk about that would involve my little darling, rambunctious little girl, please let me know. Another thing that she loves is our new line of clothes at our merchandise, Backwoods Brothers. The Pissed Off Patriot line is going to be really freaking cool. So far, we've got this amazing logo with some really cool products, And there's going to be more stuff added soon. Joel's working on some incredible stuff. George is working on some stuff. Tony and I are thinking of some ideas. It's going to be really cool. So if you'd like to see what we've got so far, we've got a little bit of an ad here to show you, and then I'll see you in a sec. Hi! What'd you guys think of that? It's pretty cool, right? I mean, I'm super excited about it. I love how badass it looks. So someone wrote, messenger RNA, a type of RNA found in cells. mRNA molecules carry the genetic information needed to make proteins. They carry the information from DNA in the nucleus of the cell to the cytoplasm where the proteins are made, also called messenger RNA. So that is what these vaccines are. They change your mRNA and they do that. And so that was a really good information. Thank you for whoever sent that. I truly believe that this is just the beginning. The mark of the beast is coming soon. Now, see, that's something too. Okay, so us Bible believers, us Jesus believers, Jesus followers, whatever you want to call us, I don't use the word. I am a Christian woman, but I don't really use that as much as I follow Jesus and I follow the Bible, because if you know my family, you know we're about relationship over the religion and the ritual. So we are all about relationship, about bringing people to Jesus without having to force them to go to a specific church or asking for their money. And it's amazing how many lives you touch that way, just so you know. But yeah, the mark of the beast, there's a lot of people that think that this vaccine is the mark of the beast, and I'm not one to say yay or nay because I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know fully until that time comes, until Jesus comes back and takes us away and saves us from this hellhole. But I do see a reason behind it. I do see that the passport IDs is another option. I do see that it could be something completely different. I mean, it depends on how everything goes down. We don't know the future, you guys. We do not know. All we know is what is right in our hearts and what God's telling us to do, and we need to start fighting for that, because if we don't, we're just as responsible for what's going on. And I mean it. We are. The people that sit back and do nothing are just as bad as the evil that are doing the evil things. If good men don't stand up and fight evil, then they're no better than the evil. I ordered a sweater already. Yay! Cool. As William Wallace would have said, freedom. Yes. That's awesome. I love that. Freedom! What do they say? They can take my life, but they can never take my freedom. That's one of my favorite movies ever, and I love him. He's so fun. And you know what? I know he's a kook, okay? I know he's a little crazy, but I just love that guy. Someone said I did check out the new merch. It's amazing. Thank you. It's going to get even better, so keep looking, because eventually we'll have some stuff on my stuff that I design for my show, which will be really neat. And also, if you don't know, there's a lovely lady in town that has made shirts for Tony before, Jennifer Kishpa. She's incredible. And she is in a few days to a week gonna make me a hoodie. It's not necessarily for the show, it's a personal one, but I'm gonna try to wear it next week if I get it in time, so I'll show it off. I will be having a conversation with the man upstairs once I get there. Why do we have germs and or disease? What's up, man? Oh, and are platypuses man-made, or did he make them? That's a good question. Now, as far as like germs and diseases, there's lots of conjecture about that. There's lots of people that have different opinions about why there's illness, why there's sickness. God knows I've asked the question myself. If you know me, you know. 28 years now, I've had a chronic illness that could kill me. Not to be dramatic, but it could. And it sucks. I've had those moments of, God, why would you do this to me? Why have you not healed me? Why are there so many sick kids in this world? Why does cancer exist? Why does any of this exist? And I think the true answer is that when evil was brought into this world, so is sickness, so is hurt, so is pain, so is hardship, so is all this stuff. And it's part of the human condition. And part of being human is showing compassion to those in pain, showing compassion to those that are hurting, whether it be physical, like me, whether it be emotional, like others, whether it be heartbreak from losing people or heartbreak from anything. I think that we need to do a much better job of loving people and lifting them up and helping them through those times. There's been a lot of times I personally have had to ask for help and I didn't want to. I'm lucky that I have the most amazing husband in the world that has taught me to just talk to him and ask, and he will be there. And everybody needs at least one person like that in their life. Aww, butterflies. Oh, sorry. Distraction. I think that is so important, and especially in the world we're in today. Find your person or persons. We have some people. We are very blessed to have some really good people surrounding us and loving us, and everybody needs that. So if you don't have that, come find me. I'll take care of you. No joke. Everybody needs someone like that. Someone said just a little crazy. Okay, the guy is wacko, but he's really fun. God gives us trials so we can have opportunities to rely on him. Yes. Now, okay. This is a little off topic, but I gotta address this, so I'm gonna wait until after we do the sponsor, because we have another sponsor I want to highlight. Valerie is amazing. She has the best pizza in the world. And yes, okay, we do like our mod pizza around here, but if I were to pick the one pizza that I could have before I die, it would be Hitching Post. Because it's amazing, it's great. And also, Val is a true patriot, okay? She is a true patriot. She's a true supporter of our community. Her entire crew is amazing. They treat everyone like gold, like family. And I can't wait to go back there again. So let's check out this video about her cute little pizza shop, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I'm going to read this comment. It's a two-parter comment, and then I'm going to go off on a little tangent, and then I'm going to finish up nice with Canada stuff, okay? I promise, but I need to address this. God gives us trials so we can have opportunities to rely on him. Without the trials in our life, we would have strength to help others around us, or we wouldn't have the strength to help others around us, okay? Okay. Okay, so I got to tell you a little story about me to get this story across properly. I was just talking to my mom about this too. So if she's watching, you'll be really proud because I remembered what we were talking about. So I grew up Pentecostal. If you don't know what Pentecostal is, it's kind of a cult. Not necessarily cult, but it's kind of cultish. There's some things that are taught in the Pentecostal church that are not of God. You know, there's some things that are taught in the Pentecostal church that I grew up thinking for a long, long time. And that came with some negative personal feelings about myself and my illness because of the Pentecostal church. And those beliefs are, if you don't believe enough, you will not be healed. And if you do believe enough, you will be healed no matter what. And that God only gives you trials to prove that you have faith in him. And I'm not saying that that's what this comment says. It just made me think about it. That's not true, you guys. Okay? God does not purposely put hardship on you in order to test you. That's not real. Okay? Does he allow hardship? Yes, because he gave us a choice to follow or to not. Because evil is in this world. Because he's not interfering, okay? And it is in his timing and his will when healing happens. And I've seen healing happen. I've had healing happen to me, okay? When I was 2, I had cystic fibrosis. And if you know anything about that, that is not a curable disease. And in 6 months of praying and hard hard times for my family. I was only 2, so I was a very sick little kid. 6 months of praying, they went back and they did these tests on me, and all of a sudden my lungs were clear and it was gone, and they said it must have been a mistake. Science. I don't know. I truly believe that was God healing me in that moment, and I will never change my opinion on that. So I believe in healing. I've seen it happen to many people I know, many people I love. But does it mean that if you do have a chronic illness or cancer, or you're disabled, that you're not a good enough Christian? No freaking way. No. I believe that there are special ones, and this is my personal opinion. This is not biblical. This is not what I've been taught. My personal opinion, coming from my life experience, is that there's very few individuals that can handle that kind of thing. Now, am I saying they're chosen to be dealt with? No. I'm saying that those kinds of hardships make people different. Those kinds of things make people different. I can tell you from experience that there are probably hundreds of people that I would never have loved, touched, talked to about God, or been able to open up to and counsel as a friend, not a counselor, but as a friend, and be there for and be trusted by them if I didn't go through what I've gone through and have the heart I have. I would not have the heart I have and the compassion I have without this pain and struggle I've been through. So there is some truth to that. But I don't believe that he's testing me. I think he's with me, helping me, teaching me how to navigate this. And because of that, yeah, I have the strength to help people through their stuff, especially health stuff. For some reason, I am the go-to person to help with health stuff, and I'm totally cool with that because that's a gift. I find that a very big gift that I can do. And there are other trials, like people going through, parents that have lost their kids to suicide. I've seen some parents just crushed by that, but then they rise up and they fight against the bullying and the hate that is causing other kids to feel the same way. It doesn't make it right what happened to their kid, but at least they're taking it and pushing it for good. So now we've got to take what's happening in our country, what's happening in Canada, like I've said, and we've got to take these lessons and we got to use them so that this doesn't happen again, that we fight against it, that we work harder to be better people, to fight for the right thing instead of sitting back on our butts. And we have to do more. And yeah, trials make us stronger. That's true. Do I believe that they're purposely there to make us stronger? I don't know. I don't know. I believe, okay, my God is a loving God, is a compassionate God, is a God that wants me to succeed and be pain-free and be happy. And he also is proud of me for how I've handled myself, I think. My God is not a hateful God or a vengeful God. And yes, he can, we've read the Bible. We know what happens. But I think that there's a big misconception about that. And I firmly believe that God is love and we're supposed to be loving people. The rest of it we'll find when we get up there, okay? I got a lot of questions. I, too, want to know if the platypus was man-made because it's a weird-looking creature, man. But there's lots of questions I have that I don't think any of us actually know the answer to. Those who are in power want us to forget the atrocities they have committed over the years. It's an election year. Don't forget the pain and the trials of these last couple years. When it comes time to vote, your power comes in the power of voting. Yes, absolutely. This is what I've been saying. So watch Canada. Watch what's happening there. Because it's not far from home, you guys. Yes, we have certain things that protect us. But the guy in power right now doesn't give a flying fuck what those protections are. And he's already stomped on them. We have to continue to fight to keep those protections. Look at that jackass.
You are a loser.
We have to fight to keep those protections. We have to fight to continue to keep our freedom. We have to keep fighting, you guys. And do not forget what they've been putting us through. This is a long time coming. A long time coming. We've been quiet for too long. We need to stand up and fight. We need to continue to fight. We need to work harder at making our voices heard. And I mean, don't go on Facebook. Don't blab to your friends. Don't yell and scream and make fun of people and fight with your neighbor. Go to your representatives. Go to your city council meetings. Go to your county commissioners meetings. Go to your statewide meetings. Go to freaking Washington, D.C. if you have to. Go to your school board meetings and actually get involved. Stop talking about it and do something, for God's sakes. I'm serious, and I will keep saying this until I see people actually step up. Get involved. Stop talking about it and do it, because there are a lot of us getting involved. And guess what? Yeah, you got to be brave to get involved, but it's not be brave. What do you got to lose? Because right now we're losing everything. So you either be brave, get involved, and fight back, or you sit back and just let them steamroll you. I mean, I think personally I'd rather go down swinging than sitting back on my ass and just letting it happen like we have been for the last 15 years. Tired of it, man. Whew. Anyways, so Canada. Watch what's happening if you can. Like, literally go watch these videos. Look at how they talk to them. Look at how Parliament is going back and forth. Pay attention. See what happens here. Look what Ottawa's doing. I got a message today right before the show that says Ottawa is considering taking away the pets of those the Freedom Convoy. Are we serious? Like, how freaking petty are they going to get? They're going to close off all their money and they're going to take their pets. Are they going to take their kids too? Because I'm guarantee you, if this is allowed, the next thing is their children. And then what are they going to do? Keep watching. Keep speaking out. And God, we cannot let this happen here. Support this convoy. If you do, support this convoy. If you don't, that's fine. I ain't going to shame you. But if this is something you believe in, please show your support. Fight for what you believe in. Somebody says, my mom told me not to cuss. Sorry, Mom. When you have something you love, you have to fight like hell to keep it. Yes, that's true. Those who wish to steal your freedoms never rest. So always stand guard at the door, ready to keep the wolves at bay. Yeah, exactly. I mean, seriously, you guys, we have to fight back because it's getting ridiculous. Stop sitting around. Fight for what's right. Do the right thing. Love people. Stop shaming people. And also, this bullying problem that our kids are having are coming from us. It's coming from us. So stop it. Knock it off. Treat each other right. Show your kids how to treat people right so that we don't have 10 and 11-year-olds trying to commit suicide. We don't have 10 and 11-year-olds not wanting to live anymore because they are so badly bullied. That is coming directly from us. Okay? And we're acting that way because of the media has created this crazy environment that is so not healthy. So lead with love and respect, and integrity is doing the right thing even when you think no one is watching. Yes, exactly. So teach your kids love, respect, integrity, and teach yourself that, and please show it and stop with this crap, this negativity, this hatefulness, and watch Canada because it is going to dictate a lot of what's happening soon. Mark my words. If they allow them to take these pets, next are the kids, and after that, I don't even know where they'll go. So pay attention, people, and be vigilant. And one more thing on here, and then we'll go. Speaking of doing things for good coverage of what's happening, follow Autowalks on YouTube for live, unfiltered news. You can see for yourselves what is real. Yes, don't take the media's word for it. Actually follow what's going on. And someone said, I missed most of it. It'll be up on Facebook in a couple minutes when we're done, and you can just rewatch it. And then if you have any comments or questions, we can write back to you. So don't worry about it. Follow what's going on yourself. Don't depend on the media. I think we've all learned that, especially with this whole CNN debacle going on. Look at several sources. Don't take my word for it. Don't take the boys' word for it. Do your own research. Follow what's going on. Look at the truth, the reality of the situation. And that is it. I'm losing my voice. So we are done for the night. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Check out the BS Project. It is the coolest show ever. It is not it's not political. It's literally like the guys are asking questions, and I'm going to be out there asking questions too. So there might be a show soon with me on it. So if you'd like to see me on there, keep watching. And it's really funny. It's really cool to see people and see what it brings a light to see how many of us actually know these citizenship questions. It really brings light to a lot of things that we need to brush up on to realize what we're actually fighting for. And it's cool. They also have some random questions they ask, like trick questions, like if I'm if I'm last place in a race and you pass me, what place are you in? Does anybody know? Hint, it's last place. Anyways, that's it. I am done, and I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll see you next week. God bless.